All right, the time has come to look more closely at data centers and AI. And there is an expansion in data centers in a very stealthy way. And in my opinion, and you'll see very soon, clearly in many other people's opinion, completely unnecessary. And one begins to wonder why. And what I'm going to do is pull up a website that was created by Erin Brockovich. And yes, that may be a name that you have heard about before. Erin is the woman who successfully went after Pacific Gas and Electric back in the 1990s due to poisoning of the water supply in Hinkley, California. And so what I'm going to do is share the website that she has created so you have access to this so that you can report what you find as well as be able to research and learn more. And in the coming days, you'll be finding more information from me regarding AI, regarding data centers, regarding this very, very questionable, massive explosion in the data center space. So let me share my screen here so we can take a look at this. And this is going to be, all right, we'll give it just a moment. So this is Erin Brockovich's website. So up at the top, it's brockovichdatacenter.com. And I happen to be on the index page. So again, brockovichdatacenter.com. And what you'll find here is a little bit about Erin Brockovich herself. You're going to find FAQs along the top. And I'm not going to take a ton of time to go through here because I suspect and I expect that people will actually learn for themselves. It's up to me to give you breadcrumbs to take a look at areas where there might be something to look at. What stones do we need to turn over? But I trust that you are going to do some research on your own. So here's some information on statistics. When we're looking at by state, take a look down here, Texas, right? So here's Texas. And I happen to be living in Arizona. Right now, there are 49 reports of data centers, and this is reports by state. And then here you're going to find top cities reported. And here are all sorts of bar charts, all sorts of data, all sorts of great information to turn on your analytical brain, or at least give you a starting point. If you have concerns, here's where you can go. So again, what are communities worried about? Water consumption. There have been some alarming, I believe it's the Rio Grande, and David Nino is someone who has a report about the alarming millions upon millions, like 75 million gallons of water used by the Meta data center. I believe that's on an annual basis. And that's massive when you think about that. And what I'll end up doing is get you some comparisons as we go forward. I just want a starting point, and we're going to Erin's website here. All right, so here's all the states, detailed accounts. So if we go in here, here are the zip codes where people have reported information about data centers. So again, you can drill down to your heart's content, and I'll be spending some time doing that myself. Community impact. So we go in here, and there's, again, some great information about that. So community impact, communities that are making a difference that are in here. And today is my first day really moving through all this, right? So I'm learning it as you're learning it. So it's part of an exploratory follow the breadcrumbs process here. All right, petitions and mobilization. And so this is interesting. They're talking about Mercer County, Kentucky, after learning of a 500-acre data center proposed on prime Mercer County farmland, folks. Where's our food going? If we don't have farmers, we don't have food unless we want lab-grown food. And no, we do not want lab-grown food. And it says it's a project that could use 110 million gallons of water per year. Here we go. More than 1,700 residents signed a petition opposing it, with hundreds gathering at public meetings. And so here's some more information about that. They have a URL going to that web page. All right. So let's back up there, come back to Erin's website. So again, dig in here, folks. Learn, educate yourself, inform yourself, drop your questions in here if there's things that you'd like me to dig into. We have about in here. We have key concerns. And again, here's a real simple one, energy consumption. And as an engineer with 33 plus years of experience in the energy management industry for commercial buildings and all non-residential buildings, I know a thing or two about energy consumption, water usage, massive, e-waste, electronic waste. It's crazy when, and I'll go into some of the technologies behind data centers, the fact that they use something called rack and chip cooling, where they do liquid cooling, AKA folks, water cooled, with these chips because they generate so much heat. There are location risks, there's scalability and efficiency, there's noise, extreme noise generated by these facilities. They use so much energy consumption. There are headlines in the news about, gee, folks, you're going to run out of electricity because we're going to divert it all to data centers. That makes no sense. Why are we doing this, folks? What are we missing? Are we trying to get to those 15-minute cities? Are they trying to force people into small areas, small regions, while they exploit our farmland, while they exploit our right to roam as free and sovereign citizens of the United States of America, the Republic of the United States of America? Are they trying to take away our rights? Is this why they're going after and saying you need to have an electric vehicle? We need to be all electric? Tell me, when we have data centers, when we have electric vehicles, when we're going all electric in buildings, hello, folks, wake up. That's an issue. I happen to be one of the founding architects of the U.S. National Smart Grid when it was created in 2009, looking at how do buildings work with our electric grid. And I can tell you, we identified many, many vulnerabilities and weaknesses in our grid. And guess what, folks? They've not been remedied. And renewable energy, it's a crock of shit. It's a bunch of bullshit. And I'll be going into that as well. And I normally don't swear on the air, but come on now. Use your brain. The electricity needs to come somewhere with your electric vehicle. And I have some EV videos going into some of those fallacies. And so we're going to keep moving on here. So key concerns. Here's our map. All right, we're going to go to the map. Take a look at this. All right, so again, I'm in Arizona. Let's zoom in here. And depending on what code you're in, again, my first time in here. So let's take a look at this. All right, so you can just click and zoom, right? And as you zoom in, you can get more detail about each and every one of these, and things are color-coded, right? So we've got a blue one under construction. And where is that? That is in Mesa, Arizona for Google, all right? We have one that is operational, and that is in, I believe that's in Gilbert. Nope, that's also in Mesa. So why are we going after Mesa? That is Apple. All right, we have proposed, we have, let's close that up. So community reported, what's going on there? I might end up needing to do some road trips and investigate what's going on in our community. Okay, so we're going to go on from the map. We're going to go to the latest news. All right, so here's some information. Watch on YouTube. Excuse my pronunciation, haven't had enough coffee today. Nationwide boom in AI data centers stirs resistance. Well, hell yes, it better stir resistance. We need to stand up, not lay down, folks. This is a menace. Why is there such a massive expansion with data centers? And oh, by the way, data centers require redundancy because there is an expectation that you will have 100% uptime with these data centers, that not one moment can be missed. And this is also, people can generate videos, they can generate cute little cat photos. You can ask Grok or Chat GPT. I point at myself too, because when it first came out, I thought, wow, this is really cool. But guess what? Every single time you run a query, gallons of water are used. Watts, kilowatts, not megawatts. It depends on what it is. It can be megawatts, depending on how complicated your prompts are megawatts. That's a ton, a ton of electricity. And what I'll end up doing is get you some graphics that go into this. And then again, latest news. So you can go through here, view all news, report an issue. Here's things where you may empower yourself, folks. Report your AI data center issue. Here you go. Report it. Erin already has the infrastructure. She has a web page that is created, that is published, that is being curated by Erin and her team. All right. I would love to be able to interview her at some point in time, but we're going to start here for today, and I'm not going to belabor this. I am fired up about this, and I am thrilled to have learned that she has this data center. So I am going to stop my web page share. So again, today was just a starting point of the outspoken nature I shall be, as I have been with electric vehicles, as I have been with the fallacies of treating symptoms and not going after root cause analysis. I am here to empower you. All right. I believe it is one of my roles, my path here on planet Earth, as she is to help people understand that which is complicated. I am blessed to have a brain that understands systems and systems of systems, and I can put the puzzle pieces together. My prior colleagues used to call me the Sharon auger. When they needed someone to go deep and go wide and find out what the heck is going on, they'd call in the Sharon auger. When my colleagues had no idea how to go after massive types, disparate types of data and data sets, they would come and find me. That is one of the things I do. And then I like to make this information easily digestible for everyone. So today, we're starting with Erin Brockovich's website to empower you, to give you a resource to learn more. Thank you so much for your time. And I appreciate that you allowed me to get just a little fiery here today.